Capricorn, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through, integrated with some Ayurvedic living or holistic wellness tidbits. So let's get into it. I hope that things are moving well in your world. We are in Gemini season. We're about to wrap up the month of May with a full moon in Sagittarius. As I'm saying this, these messages are always timeless. I do use the astrology that's going on presently. Just take what resonates, leave the rest behind, especially if you find this at a later date. We're finishing up the month of May. We have a full moon in Sagittarius, which is all about growth, expansion, kind of just raising our vibration, challenging ourselves in ways that we can become better versions of ourselves, that we can actually level up. And then we also are having, not this week, but coming soon, we're having Venus and Jupiter are in conjunction. So that is one of the most fortunate transits that can happen in astrology. And it really is about, kind of just not indulging, but claiming our abundance, claiming our power, and then actually manifesting that abundance. What does that mean? It's focusing on the things that are going well. It's investing in the things that are going well. And you're obviously a sign that I feel like handles this stuff very well when it comes to manifestation. You're one of the hardest workers in the zodiac. I feel like you're never afraid of a challenge. You'll actually take it head on and usually be pretty successful. And so it's channeling our success, right? It's channeling the things that we want to make manifest in our life and actually bringing that into reality. And that Venus-Jupiter conjunct really helps us with that. So just keeping that in mind, especially when you're kind of dealing with things that are difficult or heavy or draining, things that really need to either be wrapped up or readjusted so it's not such a frontal focus in your life. But that's also why I like to start these readings off with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked, limited, or like we're struggling. If it's not your vibe, you can totally skip ahead and you will still receive the energy of the blessing. It's also a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart or mind that you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It really is a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're interested in more of a rebalancing of yourself, Capricorn, alignment of your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Because when we're aligned in self, when we're grounded in self, when we're taking care of ourselves, that's where we're tapping into our happiness, our fulfillment. It also makes manifestation way easier because we know what we want to align with, right? And I would love to help support that for you in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama. All right, Capricorn. I'm picking up this energy of you moving through some changes recently. Maybe even some big changes, things that have really altered how your day-to-day living is happening, is functioning. But it feels like even if it did throw you off course, you're in a place where you're feeling a little more balanced. You're feeling more prepared, I got this. It's not as bleak as what I thought. And I'm even hearing ideas of inspiration are coming your way this week. Where, like I said, even if it was something that threw you off or you weren't really expecting, maybe there was a lack of respect in a situation that you had to set some heavy boundaries. I feel like you had to create distance with someone or something based on how a situation shook out. Like someone wasn't really, not only they weren't meeting you halfway or kind of contributing their part to the equation, but it also feels like they might have either been tearing you down in the process or doing things, even if it wasn't to your face, it feels like doing things that were making things harder. Whether they saw it as that or not, I don't even feel like whatever this energy is would claim that per se. But I love this as your overarching energy. You do have transformation. So big transformation. And again, transformation in a way, 42 breaks down to a 6. That's going to ultimately be more balanced for you. I think it's adding a different level of stability, not only to your life, but to your partnerships as well. Who and what you choose to let in. We do have the Phoenix energy on the top of this card, which is one of my favorites because life does go through so many cycles. And the easier we can become acclimated to those cycles, to the change that happens, even when things do come in that throw us off, rising again, burning away the old and rising from the ashes, rising again. I think it's a really powerful story. And I think that that's definitely something you're embodying this week. It does also look like this is really healing for you as well on a spiritual front. Again, maybe not the easiest. Well, oh, there we go. The Nourishes Shadow. This has been coming up pretty much for like all the zodiacs. So don't take it personally. It's been coming up in our collective readings as well. And I think this is a lot of because Pluto is currently in retrograde. Pluto just moved into Aquarius. It spends roughly 20 years-ish in each sign. So it just moved into Aquarius. It was retrograding back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. It's finally settled into Aquarius. And this is the first retrograde that it's actually staying in Aquarius. All that to say, Pluto in Aquarius gives us the opportunity to make changes in our life that, yes, do better align with us. What does that mean? Aquarian energy is a little bit more eccentric, unique, off the beaten path, marches to the beat of its own drum, that kind of vibe. And so we're all able, or presented this opportunity, like, to make life look a little bit more authentic to self, even if it is unique or not the run of the mill, or we're getting some backlash from our environment. There's reasons why we accommodate, why we appease, why we do things seemingly on the surface, like it's, oh, this is going to be better for our life. But then we end up living in a vibration or surrounded by people and situations that aren't really authentic to who we are and to what we want. And so there's parts of you, I feel like you are exploring. Again, it might not even be an intentional thing, like, oh yeah, I want to do this. I feel it feels a little bit more begrudgingly, but like I said, beginning of the reading, I'm picking up this energy like you're becoming more okay with what is. You're feeling a little bit more flexible, and I love this. So you're headed towards this quantum jump, which is all about that level up that I was talking about. In quantum physics, quantum energy healing, a quantum jump is when we're able to leave behind an old cycle and rise up, learn what we need to learn, and move forward and be better because of it, be stronger and better because of it. And our life is actually reflecting that, meaning we're not getting sucked back into the same old habits and patterns. So it does look like you're having a hard time letting go of something, shake, release, heal, move on. I think this is a lot about, I'm seeing this as like waiting for what the future brings, or like it will get better in the future type vibe. And I feel like this is a lot about spirit saying to let it go now. Let it go now, because this is something that's influencing your partnerships. And it's not helping because the transformation is already here. Yes, there might be some things that you're not loving about this, but it is helping you evolve more into your complexity. I always see this card as a very Aquarian energy because it's unique, and it does require the need for us to explore the more spiritual, esoteric, woohoo, if you will, those sides of ourselves that, again, might not be popular, or people can be like, what are you doing? Why are you acting that way, etc. They don't understand it. And we have the third eye highlighted on the card, which is not being so concerned about the physical reality. Yes, you're aware of it, you're paying attention to it. But I feel like it is, again, about diving deeper into, here's the thing, like I'm seeing this specifically as like places you didn't use your intuition in the past. Maybe even let someone get away with something for too long. And now you are changing it up. And it's just reminding you to not forget that lesson. Not forget that lesson. Don't forget that energy. Don't forget what it feels like. I love this. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Coins in this deck. You're coming in as a very balanced and stable version of yourself. I think the life you are living is feeling very cohesive, very put together, and according to your standards specifically. But this feels soft. This feels nurturing and supportive. It's not all the brunt of sometimes Capricorn can be really like masculine or like just really intense, right? A brute force is maybe what I'm looking for. And I feel like you're more vibing in the feminine version of Capricorn energy, taking care of house and home. And you might have even been responsible for other people, other things, maybe even whomever whatever you're dealing with. Like you had some type of caretaking role, whether it was providing, whether it was being an emotional support to someone. There's some conflict popping up. 5 of Wands, Knight of Cups. Seeing like how much someone is really invested in something, because we have this Knight of Swords, not only moving away from you, but kind of making plans of action within themselves. I feel like you found something out. I feel like you found out someone was doing something. Yes, it does have a little bit of that behind your back type energy, but it could be as simple as like they just weren't telling you. You know, I don't want to fearmonger. That's not what the channel's about. It's just about bringing insight, but then also how we can overcome and move forward given the insight that we're given, right? So I feel like someone, and here's the thing, it does look like whatever plans someone's making, because again, it looks like whatever the conflict was, whatever tension came into play, you set certain boundaries and you're sticking to them. And you're not really going into this guilt mode, like feeling bad for the boundaries that you need to set for yourself, because I do feel like they're appropriate. And you kind of do have your focus on other things, a little more future oriented, or whatever you're trying to build and grow. I don't think you're giving this person dynamic as much of the time of day, or that's how it's coming through. It's hurtful. You don't really want to go down that road. I think you've also had to make some hard decisions that you maybe weren't really ready to make, but you know it's for the ultimate and best. And that's why it's important to keep evolving, to keep pushing forward, so that you're not going back into, right, how we were talking about, like the transformation's already happened. You know what's up. It looks like they know what's up on some level. They might be really hurt and disappointed, but at the same time, it also feels like they're not really looking back. If you did join forces once again, whatever that looks like, it can be love. It doesn't have to be. Love isn't specifically coming through. This could be more business, friendship, community. It feels like it would have to come from your end. It looks like someone is dealing with this as rationally as possible, hiding some of their feelings, hiding some of their emotions, and pushing forward, again, those places that they're not necessarily divulging to you. It does look like there's more to be said. More to be said that might be unexpected, but it does bring some type of clarity. I think that as you are, like, it looks like either, let me see if this is an offer, because I do see you offering something. Okay, so we have the King of Cups, to clarify you. Oh gosh, dude, so many people. King of Cups, Queen of Wands, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You're seeing an energy from a different perspective. Gosh, dude, like so many people, maybe just too many people got involved in a situation that made it really limited, or just it put you in, you know how like when we have people feeding in and they're like, are you sure you want to do that? They're questioning you, they're questioning your judgment, and it might have not even been founded in anything, right? Like it could have just been something where they should have minded their own business and they did not. And it did make you stressed out about something. I do feel like you pulled your energy back from a situation. It does feel like it was out of self-protection for whatever reason. Okay. So you have another energy coming back around, and it could even be because you've gotten someone or a group of people out of the way. Like you might not be listening to these people as much anymore, or taking their advice, or seeing that things that you were being advised around was not really true. I think that also you weren't very certain about who and what someone is, because there is some immature energy that's coming from this dynamic or from them. It looks like as you're trying to evolve past some of this old stuff, you're looking at your options, and maybe that's what people are cautioning you to. You're looking at your options. Again, we get 2 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. So this is about what your wish fulfillment in terms of relationship looks like. Who and what you're trying to partner up with. And partnership has been coming up a lot in this reading. It's not about, I think here we have this 5 of Swords, or 5 of Wands, excuse me, it is the conflict, but maybe it is a little bit of a 5 of Swords energy, right? Where there's a difference between like, working through something, figuring something out, but still being in opposition to one another versus reciprocity. A little bit of you, a little bit of me, find our harmony and balance and move forward. And it looks like to me, like, I don't know, there was difficulty with understanding who or what someone was, something. I feel like you're ready to let go of this stuff. You do have a lot going on. Again, because this is in hopes that you can build and grow upon something. And maybe it is you shedding a belief or just releasing some situations of the past so they're no longer clogging your energy moving forward. Like you might need someone, you might need some help, or you want, like, there does look like as you're looking to kind of fill in the gaps, like again, you're trying to find out what your options are. And I see someone, you might not have interaction with them, but I feel like you are interested in connecting with them. But there is a little bit of an imbalance. And I think this is heavily connected to past energies. Again, maybe people, situations that you let feed into too much. But now that you're in this place in life, now that you're on the other side, I think you're seeing things a lot differently. And it's helping you empower yourself in a different way, right? In a way that, like, again, I don't think you're looking at it like, oh, it's going to be smooth sailing and everything's going to be fine, well, and good. Yes, I think I would love that as humans. I think everybody just wants it to be fine, but that's not always realistic. And I don't think you are a sign that shies away from hard work. You'll do it, right? And you have done it. And I think whatever you have done, Capricorn, it's paying off. And it looks good. Because I feel like it's not only just about you've been individualizing yourself, understanding yourself, getting clear on who and what you are, what your wants and needs are. And I think it's bringing a lot of clarity to situations that you still are involved in, right? Like I was saying, maybe some people who fed into something very negatively. And I'm not saying it wasn't, I think you saw some things that were like, oh shoot, are they right? Or I probably should listen to them. You did for a period of time. Again, not a bad thing. But now that you don't need that as much anymore, it's helping you evolve. It's helping you to grow, realign with self. And ultimately, like I said, I think that there's going to be a little bit of a bump in the road with this Judgment card,
wake-up call. We have judgment is clarified by the Hermit, Page of Coins, and Queen of Swords. You might have taken a very analytical approach to something when it needed a little bit more heart, needed a little more empathy. And I feel like you were making the best decision with the information that you had. It does look like this conversation's going to be readdressed, whatever this is. There's other parts of the puzzle that are being revealed that are helping you understand even more maybe why you shouldn't have listened to other opinions, where this shadow is coming into play, whether that's a need to appease other people or, you know, whatever, not really trust your gut. Sometimes that's very hard to do. And the Hermit is all about that. With the Lantern, the story goes, he's listening to his own internal light. He's not as worried about who and what is around him and what they're saying. Yeah, maybe he takes it into account when he's making his final decisions, but it's all about your stability. It's all about your stability, because at the end of the day, if we constantly make decisions for everyone else, we're not going to be happy in our life, right? It goes back to what I was saying in the very beginning. Like, if we're not taking care of ourselves, it's not a fun life to live, you know, because self-love, self-care is the foundation for success, period. And it's not successful when we're doing what other people want, or when we're putting more stock, more weight into their thoughts and opinions. And I think that's the challenge for you this week, or the cosmic reflecting on those places where you perhaps let your shadow get the best of you. And like I said, I'm not meaning this rude or pointing the finger. It's a healing mechanism. It's something that's allowing you to like see beyond the past, to not hold on to it so much, to actually release it in a way that's going to help you become more prosperous, more abundance as time moves on. And I think you know this. I think that whatever this conversation is that brings in more clarity, it needs to happen as that next step so you can move forward. And it's going to give you a different piece of the puzzle, but it doesn't feel so much like an energy of like, oh gosh, now I got to go back and start all this over again. It's more like, okay, I got it. And I can really understand why that is the way it is. And then you're able to integrate it seamlessly, is what it feels like, seamlessly and effortlessly. I'm not trying to oversell it. It just definitely has this vibe of like, once you see it, it's not hard to like, okay, that's what we got to do. It's not hard to change up the tune. This is the last phase. I love this. So I feel like this is more of a promise. This is the last phase of whatever you're going through. You're closing out a cycle. Really beautiful transformation has happened as a result of it. Try not to stay too stuck into the past. I think whatever you can do to kind of clear some of the energy of the past is really going to help you. Even if some of the conversations are uncomfortable, again, you're not really a sign that's afraid of that stuff per se, but there might also be some things that you're like, oh shoot, you know, maybe I could have done it differently or better. Not to live in shoulda, woulda, coulda. Not at all. More as a way, like I said, to be informed on how to better move forward. How you need to do it, because ultimately you're leading to this place of healing. It's such a beautiful card, beautiful energy to embody Capricorn. It means, again, that you're like integrating what you need to know. You're not just sloughing it off or sweeping it under the rug or pretending it doesn't exist. You're actually finally in a place where you're not afraid to face it. So this is pretty awesome. I love it, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you enjoyed the messages. Thank you so much if you stayed through the whole reading. It definitely helps the channel, and I so appreciate it. I would love to hear if it resonates. Definitely drop comments below. Or I love to just connect, share in a little love, a little TLC. It just blesses my heart. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Know that, I appreciate it. I'm just going to be redundant here, Capricorn, but I would love to express my heart. Sometimes the words just are not adequate. But thank you so much for all the love and blessings that you bring my way. No, I'm sending it back to you.